I'd like to read to you a short passage of scripture that comes toward the end of the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 7. Hear the word of the Lord. Judge not that you be not judged. For with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there is this log in your own eye? You hypocrite! First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Ouch! That stings a little bit, doesn't it? Sometimes Jesus is just so direct. But even when he is, sometimes we are a little obtuse and we figure he must be talking to someone else. We think, man, I wish so-and-so had heard this. He really needs it because he is just so judgy. We could say, certainly Jesus is talking to the scribes and Pharisees, not us. But we'd be wrong. We could say, Jesus is talking to my spouse, or my kid, or my mother-in-law, or my neighbor, or my boss, but not me. But in every one of those cases, when we're pointing fingers at others, we would be wrong. Jesus just doesn't allow us to do that. He just doesn't allow us to point fingers at anyone else, because he is clearly talking to all of us and warning all of us against putting ourselves in places of judgment over anyone else. It's simply not our place. But let's be honest. It's really, really easy to judge other people. Sometimes we think it. Sometimes we say it out loud, but oftentimes we do it without even realizing it. We say or think things like this. You put your kids in public school? You homeschool your kids? You voted for who? You mean you didn't vote at all? You eat red meat? Really? You're a vegan? You don't go to church? You go to that church? You're gonna wear that? You're gonna let your kid do what? You bought what? You're drinking from a non-recyclable cup and using a straw? You see, there are dozens and dozens of things like this that I could say. Common things that I think sometimes we think about other people. And when we think those thoughts, when we say those things, it feels like judgment, doesn't it? Even when we don't say them out loud, we're putting ourselves in a place we have no business being, judging others. Jesus says, judge not. Judge not that you be not judged. Get that log out of your own eye before you start reaching for the specks in other people's eyes. The truth is, we don't know what is in someone else's hearts, and we are in no position to judge one another, unless, of course, we have lived sinless and spotless lives before God and each other. That leaves me out. How about you? Friends, let us be people who love each other so well. Let us be people who build one another up. Let us be people who leave judgment to God and God alone. Go in peace. Let the love and the grace and the goodness of Jesus pour out of you today.